report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune bed, don't need no pull when you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and head that deep, tune in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. I'm Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. Back in our sound room, we have TK and Heavy D. We're going to be joining those guys here in just a little bit. And Ken, we're back. We took a little break from our winter sports season. Took a couple weeks off. Ready to talk spring sports. I'm ready to talk some baseball, softball, track and field. How about you, partner?
Absolutely, Craig. It was a great winter sports season. You know, we had some very successful teams again this year, and but really looking forward to the spring sports season, Craig. And that's what we're here for tonight, kicking off the spring sports show. Really looking forward to dialing in the baseball programs, the softball programs, and the track and field teams throughout the area, and talking to the players, the coaches, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of talking to coaches and speaking of talking about softball, track, and field, have a couple fun interviews tonight to kick off our spring sports season, don't we?
Yes, we do, Craig. Really looking forward to talking to the head coach of the Houston Wildcats fast pitch softball team, Coach Brent New. Coach New just recorded his 300th career win the other night. Congratulations, Coach. Really looking forward to talking to him about his success that he's had at that Houston Wildcat program. And also, Craig, going to be talking to 10th year varsity coach Dan Schafer. He's done a great job with the track program at Russia, and looking forward to seeing what he has to say about his boys track team this coming season. They got off to a great start last night by winning the Invitational over in Sydney. We'll talk to him about some of his star athletes and see what he's got planned for the year.
All right. Well, speaking of Brent New and Houston softball, they're part of our tonight's poll question, aren't they?
Yes, they are, Craig. Poll question for our viewers out there: which softball team do you feel has the best chance to win the Shelby County League? 4 really good teams in the league this year, Craig: Anna, Fort Loramie, Houston, or Russia. It's going to be a real dogfight between those 4 teams. Who do you feel has the best chance of coming away Shelby County League champion?
All right, and if you're watching us out there on your computers on the Fish Report Live page, you can scroll down and help us answer that poll question and check the results out after you answer the question. If you're watching us on NK Telco or Game Face Ohio, we will have those results for you at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, let's get things started. And last Saturday, I was reading in the Sydney Daily News that they had kind of a neat recap of the history of softball in Shelby County. A local softball fan by the name of Ron Morris kind of summarized the league titles. And I guess looking at it, it's been kind of streaky, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, Craig. It was real interesting to read the article that Mr. Morris put together, and I thank him for his information. But, when you look at the Shelby County League softball, it started out with Anna winning the first 2 league championships, Craig, back in 96 and 97. At that time, Erica Crosley was the player of the year in both of those seasons. Fairlawn then, Craig, went on 5 consecutive championship run from 98 to 02. And in the last 3 years, their star pitcher, Molly Morse, earned Player of the Year honors. Then the Houston Wildcats and Coach Brent New took over, winning an unprecedented 7 consecutive league championships from 03 to 09. And then they shared the title in 2010 with the Russia Raiders. And then Fort Loramie and head coach Brad Turner took over, winning 4 straight outright Shelby County League championships and sharing the 2015 crown with the Houston Wildcats.
All right. Well, you rattled off a couple of those names like Erica Crosley and Molly Morris. You remember those names at all? Or?
A little bit. Great players back in the day, Craig. And, they were instrumental in kicking off Shelby County League softball. They really were. And people seen them perform at their success and the teams that they put together. And Shelby County League softball has been very good ever since.
All right. Well, you mentioned the Houston Wildcats winning all those titles. They may be a team to watch this season, and we'll find out if they are with our next guest. He's been coaching for the Lady Wildcats for the last 19 seasons. He just won his milestone 300th career game on Monday night. Live on the phone with us right now is Brent New. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks a lot. I'm glad to be on.
Well, listen, Ken and I were just going over the SCAL softball championships, going all the way back to '96, and how streaky it's been, Coach. You won all those titles from 2003 to 2010, and then Larmy's been hot now for a number of years. You guys shared the title with them last year. What's the reason for those streaks? What's the reason for that, in your opinion?
It kind of goes back when I first started. Fairlawn, I think, won the first 5 years I coached. They won the league each year, and you can always look and see that they had a dominant pitcher, like Molly Snow now, but she was a great pitcher back in those days. And then we had a run of 3 dominant pitchers when we won the league, and then of course Larmy had the same. They were fortunate; they had really good pitching also. So I mean that's where it starts from, I think, and fortunately we've had better pitching lately, and so have they. And I think our league is pretty wide open this year. It could be one of 4 teams, really.
I agree with you there. I got a chance, actually, Coach, to go over Monday night and watch your game that you played against Jackson Center. You guys played very well, won 15-4 in 5 innings. Then you dropped a game on Tuesday night at New Bremen. Coach, what was the difference between your game on Monday night, where you played so well, and the game on Tuesday night that you dropped to New Bremen?
First, probably New Bremen. They made great plays. I think we just couldn't get the timely hitting that we were hoping for. I think we had runners on third a few times and just couldn't get a big hit. But on the other hand, New Bremen just kept making plays, and we made some defensive mistakes. And that's the way baseball and softball goes sometimes. So, but most of it goes to them, I would say.
Coach, hi, this is Ken, and you've got a very talented roster this year. You got a lot of players out on your team, and particularly 3 very good seniors in Michaela Hensley, Macy Stang, and Kayla New, all very experienced softball players. What are your expectations of these 3 young stars this season?
Basically, just to kind of almost like own the team. I want them to be kind of co-coaching, I guess. In a way, I've kind of put on their shoulders to take the lead as far as directing the other kids and just having some ownership on things. The 3 of them have started all 4 years now, and they've had great careers, and I know they want to go out this year with another good season. So I'm just letting them be more responsible as far as owning responsibility, I guess. And I think they're all 3 can do it. So.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your young talent. You've got a very good freshman class there. I know you're relying on some of them to contribute big innings and big at-bats for you this year. Where do these kids develop their softball skills at the junior high or even prior to that level? Is it travel softball? Is it camps? Is it a league that they play in? Or how do these kids improve?
The youngest kids, of course, they start out playing at Houston, but then once they get to I believe 4th grade, Houston plays in a league that involves like Anna and Botkins and a couple other county communities, and they play like 5th and 6th grade. Kids going into those grades, and then of course the junior high, they generally play down at Flanagan in Sydney. So it's nice. I mean, kids are playing fast pitch basically from 4th grade on, and even before that, they're hitting a flat pitch, which was a big thing, just learning proper hitting skills, that kind of thing. When I first started, it was like kids wouldn't play fast pitch until the spring of their freshman year. So lots have changed. So.
Hey, Coach, listen, we got one more question before we let you go. And like I said, I was there on Monday night to watch you pick up your career number 300th victory. I thought it was pretty neat to see how excited your girls were. I'm going to assume most of them weren't even around when you got career victory number 1. But did you enjoy seeing those girls so excited for you?
Yeah, that was neat to see. To be honest, I kind of had forgotten until I turned around and saw the banner, and then it was a neat reaction. But it's also neat to know, like my daughter Kayla, she was a 6-month-old sitting in the crowd when I won my first game. So she's been there for a long time with me. So I guess, but it was a big accomplishment for her, and my other daughter Rebecca plays too. So it was a big deal for them.
Coach, listen, we appreciate you being on our show with us tonight. You've set the standards high for Shelby County League softball. Your Houston Wildcats are always the focus of the team with the target on their back, the team that everybody always gets fired up to play because you've got a good program, and I'm sure you would rather not have it any other way than that. And congratulations on your success that you've had at Houston High School.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll see you.
Yep.
All right, that was the head coach of the Houston Wildcats, Brent New. They actually play at Botkins on Thursday night, and then our Russia Raiders will see them probably in April, early April, I believe. Houston's got a tough schedule. They play at Russia, they play at Fort Laramie, and then, of course, Ken, as we well know, the CCC is very good, and got several games with CCC opponents, and CCC always brings some good softball teams, don't they?
Yes, they do, Craig. And, like you said, like I just said, Houston really is a stepping stone, taking nothing away from the Fort Laramie Redskins. Their program has been very successful over the years. Coach Turner's done a great job. Houston, Rushi's been very competitive, and Anna. But you always want to look at where you stack up against, Craig, in the competition. And like you said, a lot of the CCC schools are the stepping stone of where you need to be to get to that next level in the postseason. And Coach New has done a great job at Houston, Coach Turner, Coach Baker, also at Russia and Fort Laramie. So, those girls, they really compete. And actually, I enjoy watching it. It's a very fast-paced action game, a lot of strikes, a lot of action, and girls are on their toes, and they play very well.
Yeah, when I walked up to that Houston game on Monday night, I walked in just in time to see Jenna Jarrett for Houston. Macy Stang was on second base for him. Jenna Jarrett takes one deep to center field. I had to ask one of the fans next to me, who is that girl? And he said, I'm actually her dad. So, but kind of neat to see girls take one out of the park like that.
Absolutely.
All right, well, listen, we're going to take a short break, but stay right there. When we come back, we're going to talk some track, including that big interview with Russia coach Dan Schafer.
Stage at the leaving van. Music starts at 8 o'clock. You can find us here every Wednesday night. It's usually the same cats every week, but I can't tell you all their names. Teacher, cat, and a junkie, all waiting for time to play. Everybody here's got something that we're trying to leave behind. We're all a little broken, looking for a place to hide. Get no answers, don't ask any questions. We're all here just looking for a high. Yeah, we're all beautifully broken here tonight.
Welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, we were talking some girls softball. I'd like to bring in the sound room. Guys, if you could come on in here with us. During the whole winter sports season, we did a new segment that we called Five for Fighting. Kind of skipped that tonight. The spring sports season, a little bit shorter than winter. So we were going to do 2 interviews tonight instead of 1 like we were doing all winter. Anyway, we do have a new segment, though. I know Heavy D's got something planned back there. And Heavy D, what you got cooking for tonight? I think we're losing the mic there on you, Heavy D. There we got you now.
All right, we had 150 episodes on the Fish Report Live show, and want to take a look at where we compared to the industry standard in terms of episode longevity. So got a couple of flashback in time here for a couple different episodes that maybe you guys.
So we've had 150 shows, or this is our 151st show. So
right.
These are shows that TV episodes that we've actually been on the air longer than, right?
We've outlasted them.
Okay. All right.
That's something to be proud of.
It is.
We're going to see who it is here first. Who we're
MASH?
beating. I don't know about MASH,
no.
but who you got?
Go ahead, Heavy.
All right, the first one here is Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh, yeah.
That starred actress Jane Seymour, and she was a big doctor from the big city that went out to the Wild West back in the 1870s.
Sure, yeah.
And I knew this episode was doomed from the start because she only brought enough penicillin with her to last 149 episodes, and the whole cast and crew got brought down by typhoid and rubella.
Oh, and there's Perfect Strangers. I can't believe we've been on longer than them.
Yeah, this is a crazy sitcom about Larry and his cousin Balky from the Mediterranean, and they do wacky, crazy adventures.
Balky, yeah, I remember Balky.
And
kind of had an accent.
I was at Walmart, and the whole 8-series set's free, basically, at Walmart now. And next is Webster.
Did they have any of our series in there at Walmart?
Not yet.
Okay.
Webster, no pun intended, but that show actually got cut short. And Webster went on to star in his career. He was the spokesman for Burger King. He was a spokesman for the Whopper.
Sure, yeah.
And he was a big-time musician over in Japan. He had 2 songs that have hit the karaoke series. Pretty wild. And the last one here that we've outlasted is Gomer Pyle, United States Marine Corps. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Out of all 4 of these, this is my favorite with Gomer Pyle. And he kind of gave up his career of acting, and he went on to be a gospel singer. And just one more point, there is another TV show out there that might give us a run for its money. It's Finding Bigfoot, and it's entering into its 9th season.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Ooh.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gomer Pyle, that drill sergeant kind of reminds me of Ken a little bit sometimes.
Yeah,
he kind of tells us what to do, doesn't he? Or
He does.
is that?
That's my kids. They'll say the same thing.
And Gomer, I don't know, TK. You kind of bear a little resemblance to Gomer there. I mean, you got the high thing going on, so. Yeah. Maybe you're the Gomer Pyle. I don't know. So, well, that's great stuff, Heavy. Do you think we'll be doing that on a weekly basis? Maybe.
It's a good possibility.
It's fun to look back at those shows and say, we've done more shows than those, and you know what?
Than Gomer Pyle.
Than Gomer Pyle. I'm fired up. I'm fired up.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff, Heavy. I look forward to that from you on maybe a weekly basis.
Sure.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, let's get back to talking some sports. And Ken, we're going to talk some boys high school track. And last weekend, last Saturday, the girls opened their season over at Versailles at the Lady Tiger Classic over there. And on Tuesday night, the boys actually opened their season at the Joe Ward Memorial there in Sydney, and had some good performances. Russia actually came out on top, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Boys did very well there, Craig. They ended up with 148 points, beating Sydney and Lima Senior and some very big schools over there. Russia performed very well. Coach Schafer's got big numbers out for his boys track team this year. I'm sure he's excited. The Russia kids I know are excited to be running and doing the field events, and got off to a great start last night, and really looking forward to talking to Coach Schafer on the phone.
Yeah, speaking of which, I think we have him live right now. Coach Schafer, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure to be here as always, and I want to thank you and Ken for the good work you do for all the local sports, no matter what it is. So I'd like to thank you, too, for that.
All right, well, listen, we were just going over the results of Tuesday night at the Joe Ward Invite, your first meet of the season, and I got a chance to talk to you a little bit last night at the meet, and you were telling me about kind of your limited practice time you had leading up to that meet. So last night, Coach, was it kind of a mystery going into that meet on exactly how you were going to perform?
Well, you never know what's going to happen until you run the race or until you jump the event. So, yeah, it's always a mystery, but we was pretty solid in a lot of areas, and we got a lot of veteran teammates on our team, and we knew they was going to come through. But overall, yeah, there's always a question in your mind until the gun goes off. So.
Well, listen, I thought you might struggle in field events this year, Coach. To be honest with you, you lost your only state participant last year in discus thrower Nick Colby, but Coach, what a performance that Drew Pulling put on. He won the high jump last night. He was second in the discus. He was fourth in the long jump. Did that guy even step on the track at all last night?
Well, no, we didn't have him in any running events. But there's about 3 or 4 running events that he could also place really high in. That we just had everybody down to 3 events last night since it was our first meet. And yeah, we lost Nick last year, but we also lost David York in high jump. He was 6th at state last year in high jump, so we actually lost 2 field event returners last year. So yeah, Drew he started out last year throwing disc and high jumping, and he was struggling. And as the year came along, he really came through. He ended up PR in last year at 5'10" in high jump. So we already, equaled that at the very first meet, and we was jumping on the football turf over there at the Sydney field, and not absolutely ideal high jumping conditions, and he did very well. Discus, he's just a natural with disc. And he's just a natural athlete all the way through. So he's not going to be limited to 3 events very long. Once we get into the season just a little bit more, he will definitely be in 4 events the rest of the year.
Coach, hi, this is Ken. Let's talk a little bit about some of the events last night, besides Drew doing so well. Talk a little bit first about your distant relays, the 16 and 3200 relays, both finished first. How do you see their times right now compared to where you want them to be at the end of the year? And do you see some some changing around in who runs those races, or is it way too early to tell?
Well, we have a good core on both relay teams, the 4x8 and the 4x4. Probably won't change too much unless somebody gets injured or some underclassman steps up, or if something happens that I can't foresee. But the 4x8, we're a very solid team. We're looking for the 4th person right now to complement them other 3 runners, but that's going to be a very competitive team all season long. And then the 4x4, it's the exact same team that we had from last year returning. They broke the county record last year at the county meet by 4 seconds, but they came in second behind Anna. And last night they was only about 6 seconds behind their county time at the very first meet. So our 4x4 team, I'm looking forward to some great results out of them as the season goes along.
Let's talk about a tough event here in the hurdles, the 100 and the 300 hurdles. You had 2 kids there last night, both phenomenal athletes, Cole Tebby and Josh York, finished 2nd and 3rd, respectively, in each of those races and vice versa. But were you surprised there, and are they going to be your 2 main hurdlers throughout the season?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to be our 2 main hurdlers. Josh was hurt last year. He hurt himself in basketball a little bit, and his back was just sore. So he never came out for track last year. But this kid's 100% healthy, and Cole Tebby also. And they've really matured from last year. And these 2 kids are just some tremendous athletes. And whether it's hurdles, which it seems to be like they're both just kind of natural at it, there's going to be a lot of great racing this year between them 2, pushing each other to be better. And, Cole also, he pole vaults and he has a lot of speed. There's going to be some other events that we're going to be able to put him in. And Josh, he threw the shot put last night, placed the shot put, long jumped. And, he's just another great asset to have on the team this year.
Distance has always been a good thing for the Raiders. We've always got good distance runners. Again, this year we got Andrew Ball, Alex Seger, and I'm sure a few other ones. But I want to talk Caleb Ball in there as well. I want to talk a little bit, though, more about one other athlete, and that's a kid that I know is just lightning fast, and that's Trevor Monin. A couple years ago, Trevor was the MVP of the Shelby County League. Talk a little bit about Trevor. He got off to a good start last night. Where do you see him running this year?
Well, Trevor, he's going to be on our 4x4 team, and obviously the 400's his specialty. We move him up onto the 4x8 relay team. 400 last night, he ran a time almost equivalent to where he was at in the middle of the season last year. And this kid is just starting to get into track shape. I think he finished in the regional finals last year. I think he was like 7th, I believe. And I think 5 of the kids that beat him at regionals were all seniors. I look for this kid at the end of the year, Trevor, to be down around 49 to 50 flat. And Caleb Ball, just an awesome athlete in the 800, which is his special race. He runs a 4x8. He also runs on the 4x4. And don't be surprised if you don't see him in the mile quite a bit this year to help his endurance for the 8. But he already ran last night. He ran like a 2:07. Last year he finished 6th at the regional, and every kid that beat him at the regional was a senior. But I look for Caleb to be, I would say, midway through the season, down to around like 2:01, 2:02. And as we head down to the county meet and that, I expect him to be sub-2 consistently.
All right, Coach. Hey, listen, one more question. We got about 30 seconds left here, but, the girls opened their season, as I mentioned earlier, last Saturday at the Versailles Classic, the Lady Tigers Classic. The boys heading there this Saturday. What are you looking forward to, or why should fans look forward to going there Saturday and attending?
Well, the first thing I'm looking forward to is good weather. I hope we have as good a weather as what the girls did. But if anybody that's a fan of track should show up at the Versailles Invitational on Saturday, no matter what the weather. We're in the same division as Minster this year. They put them in our division, and Waynesfield Goshen always fields a really strong team. And we're going to be in the Orange division, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a shootout on Saturday.
Well, listen, Coach, best of luck to your team. You got them off to a great start last night, and congratulations on your success that you've had with the Raider track program, and good luck this year.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care, Coach.
All right, see you, Craig. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was the head coach of the Russia Raiders, the boys track team, Dan Schafer, and I know Dan Schafer and Brad Heaton, the girls coach, kind of work together there, don't they? They kind of take care of each other's teams and go to the same meets together.
Yeah, they do a good job, Craig. They got a lot of kids out this year. The Russia Wellness Foundation put that track in just 5 years ago, maybe, and it's amazing, Craig. I think Russia had 0 state champions before that track went in. Since it's been put in, they've had 4 in the last 5 years. So what a difference it makes. So not only thanks to the coaches and all the kids that run track, but also the hardworking crew of the Russia Wellness Foundation that supports that track.
Good stuff. Hey, I want to bring in the sound room one more time. And, guys, we talked some girls softball tonight. We talked some boys track. And I want to go to TK in particular back there. TK, I know you've got a little bit of interest in baseball and girls track this year. And just real quickly, we got a little bit of time left. What are you looking forward to in those two sports? Anything in particular you're looking forward to watching?
Well, as you said, so I got individuals in both of those, so I'll be watching a lot of both baseball and track this year. Just looking at the start of the season, baseball, not much happened so far in the Shelby County League. Only a couple games. Anna's 2-0, and you got Russia 1-1, Fort Laramie 1-1. So things getting just started there. Look for those teams to all do well. Probably get a little bit of rain out tomorrow, but this weekend we'll get a couple more games in and see how things start to shake out. On the other side, the locals and the MAC, Versailles, real big start, 2-0 with 2 shutouts, so they're a strong team, always are, and they will begin this year. And then Minster is 3-0. They pulled a smart move, and they moved their game up that was supposed to be tomorrow night to tonight to avoid the rain that looks like it's going to be here. So they got their 3rd game in already and doing well there at 3-0. As you said, the girls won at the Versailles. Another thing, Anna quad meet the other night. As far as girls go, Fort Laramie pulled that one out, 76-67 for Anna. So another tough team out of both Anna and Fort Laramie there on the girls track. So something we'll get to watch all through the season.
All right, guys, great stuff, and sounds like it's going to be a fun year, whether we're talking baseball, softball, or track and field, isn't it?
That's right. It's going to be a fun year. We just hope, like Coach Schafer said, we just hope for good weather. I've sat through some really nasty baseball games and track meets, Craig, where it was sleeting, snowing, ice and raining, you name it, it was doing it, and hopefully we get some nice weather.
All right. One more thing to get to tonight, and that is the poll question. And Ken, why don't you read that to our viewers again?
Well, our viewers out there can tell us, who do you feel is a softball team to beat that has the best chance to win the Shelby County League title? Which fast-pitch softball team will win the title this year? Will it be Anna, Fort Laramie? Houston or Russia?
Well, let's go back to TK. Yeah, TK, what you got?
TK.
And our poll results right now, 60% say Russia will be the winner. And then we got 20% for Houston and 10 and 10 for Anna and Fort Laramie. So a heavy hometown crowd voting for the Raiders to take the championship this year.
Well, you know, Coach Baker's got a pretty nice team this year. I don't know. It could be them, could be Fort Laramie, Houston, could be Anna. All 4 teams, like Coach Anu said, are all very solid this year. But you know, we'll see what Coach Baker has here. I'm sure we'll have her on the show here in a few weeks.
I talked to Coach Turner last night briefly in the Fort Laramie High School parking lot, and I'm sure he's thinking he's got a pretty good chance of at that too. But I know he knows it's tough.
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely. He's done a great job over there, and I would say he's the odds-on favorite to beat.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I do want to say special thanks to our guests, Houston coach Brent New and Russia track coach Dan Schafer. Ken and I and the crew will all be back again next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night, everyone.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news and high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pole. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report.